Hey, Melissa Lieberman here with our weekly stand up for independent consultants to help you get into the zone of working on your business and just step out of working in your business for a few minutes. I love to take Fridays for this purpose. And so hopefully you're doing the same in your business, setting aside some time to work on your business and help move it to whatever that next level is for you. And today I want to focus in on the playbook to hire a virtual assistant. So many consultants I'm talking to right now, and you might be in the same boat, are having a challenge with trying to keep all of the balls in the air. You've got a lot of clients who want to be working with you. You're delivering for existing clients. You're trying to also make sure that the back end of your business, all of the things from invoicing and deliverable creation and administration, all of those things are handled. And it can be really hard to keep all of that going in a 30 or 40 or maybe 50-hour work week. But I know you want to have balance. That's partially why you created your business in the first place. At least it is for almost every consultant I talk to, and for myself included. And so we want to start creating systems for you that help you to create more capacity, to carve out more time for yourself and the strategic work that you want to be doing. And one of the strategies to do that is to leverage a virtual assistant. So I want to walk you through the steps of bringing on a virtual assistant or more than one virtual assistant in your business so that you can create more time and capacity for yourself. And I find that this is a question I get a lot. What is a virtual assistant? How do I hire one? How do I know I need one? And so I want to give you a little bit of behind the scenes in my own business to help you answer those questions for you and your own business. So with that, let's dive into first figuring out for you, when is the right time to hire a virtual assistant? And the way that I like to look at this is first from the lens of sooner is better. So it's really can be challenging as a former employee, right, of a company, to think. A lot of times what I find happens is as we start running our own businesses, we take a lot of that baggage with us from corporate. And one of those that happens a lot is feeling like you need someone else's permission or someone else's go ahead to hire someone in your business. And I'm not talking about a full-time employee here. I'm talking about a subcontractor, hiring someone to help you in your business so that you can free yourself up. I need to tell you specifically, you are a business owner. You don't need anyone else's permission. You don't need someone to open a head count anymore. You don't need someone to tell you you have the budget for it. You get to decide. And for a lot of consulting business owners, I find that this is not something we actually realize. So I'm just telling you now, you get to decide when you hire someone. What I did in my own business is waited too long to hire an assistant because I felt like I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't generating enough revenue yet. No matter what the revenue number was, that was just my mindset, right? And the other mistake I made was, well, I can do this myself. It's not a problem. I'll just keep doing these things myself because I don't want to pay someone else to do them when I can do it, when I have the ability to do it. So don't make those mistakes that I made. Think about this is a question I love to ask when deciding if it's the right time for you. Where could an assistant help give me more leverage in my business? Even if you're carving out 5 hours a week, imagine how much more impact you could make from a business development perspective if you're carving out 5 hours a week. It's so little to pay someone to help you and gives you so much time back in your day and your week to focus in on the things that only you can do in your business. So ask yourself, instead of asking the question, when should I hire a virtual assistant? Ask yourself, how could I use a virtual assistant right now? Where is that low hanging fruit? And start thinking about your business from the perspective of wherever you're at, it makes sense right now to hire a virtual assistant or maybe more than one. So let's just start from that assumption that you're running a business, even if you don't even have any clients at the moment, you're running a business. Where might it make sense to bring on someone to help you? That's the first step. Then the second step is really digging into the details of your business. What are the tasks that you do? What are the tasks that you need to be doing but haven't made time, haven't been able to carve out the time to be doing it? Just really doing a full inventory and audit of your business, and then going back through each one of those tasks, and again asking yourself, how could someone else help me with this? Not, is this something that I want to give up? Your answer is going to usually be, well, maybe later, or no, no, I like doing this, or no, this is going to be hard to transfer over. We want to look at it from the lens of, how could someone else help me with this particular task? So that takes your thinking to a different level and allows you to think about things differently in a way that you could delegate, versus just deciding, well, that's hard to delegate, I'm not going to do it, or I could do it, and so I won't delegate it yet. And sort of looking at the list from the lens of ruling things out of what you don't want to delegate, versus figuring out and looking at it from the perspective of ruling things in. I find that takes this process to a whole nother level and gives you so much more mileage. So then once you've created this list, what are you going to outsource? Then look at it and figure out, is this one skill set that I could bring someone on, or do I need specialists here? For example, maybe you need a bookkeeper. That could be very specialized. That person maybe could do your invoicing, and keep track of your collections and things like that. And then maybe you've got someone that you would want to bring on that's a little bit more on the creative side, that's helping you with making sure that you've got a more regular thought leadership process, and like things like posting on LinkedIn, or creating new LinkedIn newsletters, editing videos for you, those kinds of things. So just really look at the list of those activities that you know are things that are repeatable in your business, that take up a lot of time, and then categorize them based on what you think would make sense, and figure out how many virtual assistants you need. At the moment, I have three. I have a podcast producer. I have a virtual assistant who does a lot of the helping me with my content and thought leadership and visibility for my business. And then I also have a fractional CFO. So those are the types of roles that I have in my business. And they're really common for other independent consultants, either a fractional CFO or a bookkeeper. You can go ahead and download. I created let's see, let me put it here for you. I created there it is. I created a playbook for you so that you know exactly how to go in and do all of these steps. It walks you through all of this process I'm giving you verbally. So you can go download that at melissalieberman.com/VA, and it will give you literally everything that I'm talking about today and more, all in writing. So once you have a really good understanding of what it is that you're looking for, then you've got to figure out where you're going to get that, obviously. I've done it both directly. I love hiring other moms who might have, some great corporate experience but aren't working right now. I've found those in Facebook groups for working mom, entrepreneurial type moms. That's been a good source. And I've also worked through agencies to help me find virtual assistants, especially offshore virtual assistants. So those are some examples of where you would find a virtual assistant. And again, in that playbook, I give you the link to my agency and some other ideas, so you can go download that and grab the resources that I have to share with you. And so then once you know where you've accumulated or identified some virtual assistants, you're going to want to interview them. So do the same type of thing. If you were great at interviewing in corporate, repeat what you've done, what you did there. Really think about what it is you're looking for, both hard skill wise as well as personality wise, and devise your interview strategy with that in mind. Again, in the playbook, I give you a lot of example questions that you would want to ask someone about their availability, about how they juggle multiple clients, about how they handle recurring tasks, how they handle communication, how they handle projects that aren't recurring tasks, how they handle emergencies, like just really getting into all the nuts and bolts of how you want to be working and communicating with someone, and what your style, if your styles match. And so then finally, once you've hired a virtual assistant, you want to be really mindful of onboarding them, establishing communication mechanisms. I love to use a task management tool for this. I personally use Asana. Others use ClickUp, is a great tool. A lot of these tools for managing and communicating with your virtual assistant are in that playbook. So go download it so that you've got that as well, and set up a process. The way that I love to do this is to use Loom. It's a screen recording tool where you can just go in, record what exactly it is that you're doing or want your VA to do, send that over to them, ask them to document it as a standard operating procedure, to implement it, let you know what questions that they have so that they can fold those into the answers to those into the standard operating procedures. And it starts building up that bank of SOPs for you and your business, and also gets the virtual assistant up and running really effectively in a thorough communication style. So that process works really well to use Loom in combination with a task management system where you can set things up as either one time or recurring, and really get on the same page about what happens on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and so on in your business with that virtual assistant. And then also you're going to want to set up a communication path that's a little bit for more informal, for back and forth communications. Right now, my virtual assistant, one of them we work over WhatsApp. Another, I use an app called Voxer. So it just really depends on what makes the most sense for both of you to set up those informal communication paths. And then finally, you're going to want to manage that person. Even though they're not technically an employee, you want to treat them like you would have, mentoring and building a relationship with you, like you did with employees in your corporate role. So asking them, how are things going, having touch bases and checkpoints, figuring out what they want to do in the medium and long term so that you can really think about that with respect to your own business and business plan. So those are the high level key milestones of bringing on a virtual assistant for you and your consulting business. And I would really challenge you to say, if you don't have assistants right now, to really start thinking about doing that sooner or later so that you can free up your capacity, free up your ability to focus on what moves the needle from a revenue producing perspective in your business, and continue scaling from a sustainable way without burning yourself out. So go ahead and download that toolkit. And also, I'll put the link to a podcast episode I just went live with yesterday, which is episode 53, all about hiring a virtual assistant. So we go a lot deeper into the first part of this, hiring the virtual assistant. So you can go check that out as well. All right, I will see you again next Friday in the independent consultant stand up. See you then.